Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. We begin this Friday afternoon with breaking news. The U.S. is helping intercept missiles that Iran fired at Israel.
The retaliatory attack started just hours ago after Israel launched its own attack last night. People in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem have reported hearing explosions. Israel hasn't reported any deaths yet. But we know on the Iranian side, the commander-in-chief of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and one of the country's most powerful figures is dead. The country's highest-ranking military officer was also killed in Israel's attack yesterday.
This is a developing story. We'll have much more on it later this hour. But first, let's get a check on the forecast. It's a big weekend, Father's Day on Sunday, and it's off to a pretty nice start. Jacob Montesano is out on the weather patio. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Susan. Yeah, right now it is very nice out here. Temperatures are in the 70s right now. The sun is shining. Air quality is also pretty good, so hard to complain about the conditions right now. Now, it is noticeably cooler the further north you're located, where 60s are right now the current temperatures in the northern portion of our area, and the southern portion temperatures are in the lower 80s. So a big difference depending on where you're located. We're in the 70s here in Madison. Now, looking at the current radar, pretty dry. We have had a few showers in central Wisconsin, but we're not seeing any of that right now. And we're going to continue to see dry conditions for the overnight hours. Could see maybe an isolated, very isolated, I should point out, pop-up shower or storm. But for the most part, we are not going to see much, and we're going to continue to see partly cloudy to mostly clear skies during the overnight hours, and that's going to continue for much of tomorrow as well. Now, as I mentioned, the air quality is better. Still not perfect. We are at moderate levels, but it looks like we're not going to see any additional wildfire smoke moving through our area, but we could continue to see some lower air quality due to the ozone. That is pretty typical during the summer months. Now, looking at your evening forecast, very perfect. Partly sunny skies. We are going to see temperatures dropping to the 60s around 8 p.m., but still very comfortable even through the overnight hours and into Saturday morning, where lows will drop into the middle 50s. So maybe very early it might get a little chilly, but winds are going to be calm and it's going to warm up very nicely tomorrow. More details on that and your Father's Day coming up a bit later.
Thank you, Jacob. Madison police are investigating the sexual assault of a teenager. At 4:30 Wednesday afternoon, a teenager was walking in the area of Troy and Northport Drives when she says a man inappropriately touched her. She was able to get away and call police. The teen described her attacker as a thin white man in his 30s or 40s. He had a hat, a black shirt with a logo on it, and black sweatpants. Police have not arrested anyone yet. Detectives are asking anyone who lives in the area to check their security camera doorbell for someone matching that description. You can contact the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014 or online at p3tips.com.
A local group is responding to the forcible removal of a U.S. senator from the Homeland Security Secretary's press conference yesterday. Today, Centro Hispano hosted members of the media to discuss its response to that incident and the administration's immigration policies.
I think what happened this week for me personally was the straw that made me think we need to be more forceful about coming out and speaking out and saying what we're feeling. Not because we owe anything to anybody, not because we need to prove what we're doing here and the strategies and all of that, but because we need to process this together, and we need to process this with you, with our community.
The director of Centro Hispano says she wants the immigrant community in Dane County to know they can seek assistance from the group whenever they need. You can find resources in Spanish and English at micentro.org.
Wisconsin ranks 41st out of 50 for the amount of money it receives from the federal government.
That's according to a new report by the Wisconsin Policy Forum. Our Ellie LaLiberte shows us what's at risk during the Trump administration's ongoing spending cuts.
To put it simply, Wisconsin is reaching into the wallet of the federal government a little less than other states. But that doesn't mean this money isn't used.
Well, where are the major areas of presence of the federal government in the state? Where are the major areas of exposure?
Those are the questions Jason Stein, the president of the Wisconsin Policy Forum, looked to answer in this report. Overall, Wisconsin gets less money from the government than it pays in, which means spending cuts may hit us less, but could still be felt.
We've lagged for a long time in federal payments per capita per state resident. And maybe to some degree that mitigates the effects of federal spending cuts. But at the same time, Even in Wisconsin, the federal government looms very large, has a really deep and broad impact on the state.
Some of those impacts could be felt in Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And tonight at 5, I'll introduce you to a man on Medicaid and what potential cuts could mean for him. Reporting in Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. The report also shows the reason Wisconsin receives less money is also in part due to past policy decisions.
We're learning the Trump administration this week provided deportation officials with personal data on millions of Medicaid enrollees. The move would make it easier to locate people as part of his sweeping immigration crackdown. Medicaid officials tried to block the data transfer, citing ethical and legal concerns, but they were unsuccessful. The data set includes information about people living in places where non-U.S. citizens can enroll in Medicaid. It is not clear if that includes Wisconsin, where the Department of Health Services says it will never share information with immigration enforcement officials.
Today, Kilmar Abrego Garcia pleaded not guilty to charges of human smuggling. The Maryland man was mistakenly deported to El Salvador back in March. Last week, the U.S. brought him back to face federal charges in Tennessee. The charges stem from a 2022 traffic stop in the state, during which Abrego Garcia was driving a car with 9 passengers. Now, he was not charged with any offense at the time. At today's hearing, we heard from Abrego Garcia's wife. On Thursday, she spoke with him for the first time since his deportation.
Even though it was through a video screen, I was finally able to see Kilmar. I'm grateful for everyone who has been fighting for this milestone and this fight to bring my husband back home with our children.
Meanwhile, the lawsuit over Abrego Garcia's mistaken deportation isn't over. His attorneys have asked a federal judge to impose fines against the Trump administration for contempt. They say the president defied a court's orders to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return.
Well, next on Live at 4, we'll tell you what the latest data says about consumer sentiment.
Plus, Tanisha Shaw introduces us to Dane County's first black woman sergeant. Right now, there is a major milestone at the Dane County Sheriff's Office.
The Sheriff's Office recently hired its first black female sergeant. Our Tanisha Shaw sat down with Sergeant Shantia Lucas and talked about the importance of representation within the Sheriff's Department.
This is Shantia Lucas. She's the first black woman to become a sergeant for the Dane County Sheriff's Department, and being first is pretty common for her.
I realized I was the first African-American woman to be a booking deputy for Dane County. After that, when I made the decision to transition to patrol, I realized I was the first African-American woman to work patrol.
Lucas started working for the Sheriff's Department in 2018, working her way up the ranks within 7 years.
I've worked the booking area, which is the intake area. I've worked residential units here inside the jail, and I've spent up to 3 years on patrol services.
The 39-year-old says her new position is a step in the right direction for Dane County.
The representation among the command staff is beginning to grow. I think that we're making a step in the right direction as far as diversity. I think that it's a mixed group. It's a great group.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Congratulations, Sergeant Lucas. Tanisha, thank you. Tonight at 6, Sergeant Lucas will tell us more about representation at the Dane County Sheriff's Department.
Americans appear to be feeling more hopeful about the impact of the president's trade war. A new survey released today from the University of Michigan shows consumer sentiment surged 16% last month. It's the first increase since December. Still, it's about 20% below that month's reading, with much still unsettled. The Trump administration has brokered a few notable deals. Dozens of potential deals have yet to be completed within a shrinking timeline. Major reciprocal tariffs will go into effect on July 8th.
The positive outlook may be premature. In a notice sent to be published Monday, the Commerce Department specified that the recently increased steel tariffs would also apply to consumer appliances containing steel. Starting June 23rd, those products will be taxed an additional additional 50% for the amount of steel they contain. Dishwashers, fridges, dryers, washing machines, and more will be affected.
Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Jacob is back with how the weekend is shaping up for dads out there.
Yeah, the weekend will be pretty good, especially tomorrow. Father's Day, we might see some rainfall, but not as much as we will see for the middle of next week. Now, in general, we're going to see highs in the near 80 degrees going forward. We're seeing highs in the middle 70s today, at least for Madison. They're going to be a little bit warmer for the next several days. Again, a few storms are possible on Father's Day, but it looks like we're going to have several dry periods and also some periods of rain at times. So if you have any outdoor plans, just keep an eye on the radar with them. Now, storm chances are going to continue for the middle of next week, and during that time frame, we also are going to see the storms a lot more likely than what we will see on Father's Day. So let's take a look at the rainfall forecast for the next couple of days. Some light showers are possible for areas near the Illinois border this evening, but beyond that, we're going to be dry for the evening, and then for tomorrow, we are going to be mostly dry, with the exception of some light showers in central Wisconsin that may impact the northern portion of our area. So Saturday looking very good for southern Wisconsin, but looking at Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see some showers and storms begin moving into our area during the morning. Kind of going to be broken up as they get into our area, but we're still expecting a good amount of rainfall, at least a good amount of area that will see rainfall, maybe not a ton of precipitation. But right now it looks like the morning will be the best chance to see that rainfall, with fairly dry conditions for the afternoon, but we still could see some showers, just not as likely. But then as we get towards Sunday night, we'll see more consistent rain move back into the area. Again, it still looks pretty broken up during this time period. But then when we get towards Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when rain will become more likely. So recapping the weekend, highs near 80 both days, more sunshine Saturday. Still going to see a decent amount of sunshine Sunday, but we could see those thunderstorms. Now, we have an alert day in the forecast for Wednesday of next week, where we are expecting the possibility of severe weather. The SPC outlook has already put out a slight risk for Wednesday across our area. Now, we're going to have more details on this as it gets closer, but here's what we're looking at right now. So we're going to see another chance of storms for Monday, and then that's going to be the case for Tuesday as well. This time of year, we usually see a lot of rainfall, and that's definitely going to be the case next week. And for Wednesday, the rain will be a little bit more widespread, as we're going to see possibly heavy rain for much of the day. And as I mentioned, some of those storms could be severe. Looking like it will mostly be for Wednesday afternoon and evening. Still might see some rain Thursday, but it really looks like Wednesday will be the peak of that rainfall. And again, we'll continue bringing more details on the possibility of severe weather as it gets closer.
Thank you, Jacob. In the 608, Pedalpalooza is coming to Fitchburg this weekend as we celebrate the power of biking in the community.
Josh Spreiter is in Fitchburg with a preview.
The best part about this event is it's all for a good cause, and you get to have fun, too. Bill Jetzer is joining us today with a little bit of preview of what we can expect tomorrow. Bill, thanks for having us out.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So what is Pedalpalooza all about?
Pedalpalooza is a celebration of all things bike. So we're going to have a bike rodeo here, sponsored by Bike Fitchburg. So if you're a young child or even an adult, you can come and learn some bike riding skills. We've got various other things going on too. There's an e-bike show and tell. We've got some pizza, and we've got a bicycle that you can pedal to make your own fruit smoothie.
Oh, I'm intrigued. And you're holding a little sign for us today. What is this all about? Because this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it is, actually. So the event is happening Saturday, June 14th, 4 to 6 p.m. at Memorial UCC at 5705 Lacey Road. Now, Memorial UCC is the only gold-level, bicycle-friendly business church in the entire country.
So, you know, when people are coming out here tomorrow, obviously the mission of giving back is there, and that's really what this is all about.
Yes, our intent here is to have a good time. You know, this is a family-friendly community event, and we also want to help bring cycling without age to the city of Fitchburg.
And you mentioned, obviously, there's a lot of activities to do. We have Mark Wilkerson waiting back here with this contraption. Mark, what is this all about?
Yeah, this is Trishaw. They originated out of Copenhagen, Denmark, 2012. Since then, they've proliferated around to 50 different countries, and we've given over 1.5 million rides. This is really about getting people who are unable to go out and ride bicycles for themselves out in the environment, using our multi-use paths, and really just enjoying life. One of the aspects I find as a pilot is being able to talk kind of a multi-generational connection with people who've you know, I've got stories to tell, and this is a great opportunity to share those stories. We just kind of ride around at a really slow pace and have a chat.
All right, can I hop aboard?
You sure may.
Let's do it. So this is called the Chat, and any specific reasons why?
Well, there's different models. I don't know why they call it the Chat, other than it's a convenient name, because what we do is we chat a lot. But these have full suspensions on them, kind of takes out the bumps.
It's very comfortable
for the passengers. It's electric assist. It's got upgraded brakes, because we're carrying, you know, maybe up to 600 pounds of weight around. I really enjoyed doing this for the community, and we're hoping to raise $15,000 to buy one of these. We're going to buy a Chat and a trailer to put it in, and then we'll be able to use that to go around the community and pick people up, take them to our multi-use paths that we have here in Fitchburg, and take them for a ride.
So if people want to support you, what's the best way for them to do so?
We have a GoFundMe page. You would go to the GoFundMe and search for Cycling Without Age Fitchburg, and there's a donation opportunity there. Or you can come out and take a ride with us tomorrow and talk to us at the table.
Awesome. Well, hey, Mark, thank you for the ride. This was comfortable. Appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about Pedopalooza and how you can support the cause here, just go to the story up on channel3000.com. In Fitchburg, Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh.
That looks like so much fun,
Yeah.
but we've got to see you pedal and make a smoothie,
I know.
too.
Where does one buy a bike with a blender on it? Can go for a ride, make a margarita or a smoothie.
Oh, now you're thinking.
Yeah. Well, coming up on Live at 4, the health secretary has fired all members of a group that advises the U.S. on vaccines.
What the former chair of the committee says about that when Live at 4 continues.
So there are approximately 200 Marines that are at that location.
That's the voice of Major General Scott Sherman confirming 200 Marines are moving into Los Angeles to protect federal property and personnel. They're joining National Guard troops who have been in the city for days at the request of President Donald Trump and in defiance of Governor Gavin Newsom.
Now, tomorrow, more than 1,900 protests will take place across the country against military deployment in LA. The No Kings demonstrations are also against the president's immigration policy, which include increased raids and deportations.
We're expecting multiple in Wisconsin, including here in Madison.
At 2 o'clock, protesters will march from Library Mall to the King Street corner of the Capitol Square, where the No Kings rally will take place at 3 o'clock. The demonstration will feature local speakers, including Huma Asan of Madison Immigration Law. And she joins us now, along with Armando Ibarra from Voces de la Frontera, which is a sponsor of the rally tomorrow. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
Huma, you're an immigration lawyer.
Right.
Tell me why you want to speak at the rally tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow, it just seems that when we look at our government and we look at what's happening, it just seems that a lot of our rights are being taken away, you know, and it seems like we are otherizing a whole vast group of people for problems that we experience. And when I look at it, I just can't, you know, stay silent.
Armando, same question that Susan had. Why is it important for you to be up there?
Yeah, me and my family will be at the rally, at the protest tomorrow, because it's a show of solidarity with community members, immigrant, non-immigrants, and really is going to be an opportunity to express our discontent right now with this administration's attacks, not just on immigrant communities, but on diverse communities across the country.
Huma, what are the rights that you feel are being taken away, and what do you hope the impact of the rally will be tomorrow?
Well, particularly for immigrants, it's our ability to be seen and be heard in the community and to be part of the government, you know, and to be part of this community. That's what I feel. And then with the ICE raids that are happening, particularly with ICE folks being taken and abducted without due process, without a hearing, without, you know, any form of judicial oversight, those are some of the things that I find that are particularly disturbing.
And of course, there is a section of America that does support these efforts. What would you, I guess, say to them, or what story would you tell to them about this experience?
Well, I would say that, enshrined in our Constitution are these rights for all humans within the boundaries of our country. And that as people that really center rights and humanity, that we should all be on the same page here, especially when it becomes a question of due process, right? And a question of education, and a question of societal well-being, that we are all in it together on both sides of the aisle here when we think about those larger, those larger goals that we have as America.
Everyone is hoping that this stays calm and that it is a nonviolent protest, although there is a segment of the community that feels that perhaps they need to make a greater stand. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think everyone that's involved, particularly myself, and I'm sure our voices, De La Frontera and other organizers have all mentioned that this is a non-violent, protest. Nobody condones violence. Nobody is looking for that. It's like Armando said, it's just about us expressing our views about the government, and their authoritarianism and those types of things, actions that they're taking.
Huma, I thought of another question. Do you, in your experience, and this is one of those crystal ball moments, do you foresee the Department of Homeland Security and Secretary Kristi Noem and the federal government? We talked a lot about due process. Do you foresee them facing any charges in the future for maybe not doing that?
Yeah, well, right now, I don't know. I mean, because it's up to the government. The Department of Justice would have to bring those charges, and that's all interplayed into into the authoritarianism of Mr. Trump. So right now I can't really see that, but maybe in the future, as we look down in history, we can look at this moment and say, at least at this moment, all of us stood up and said, this is not right. This is, the due process, the lack of due process for people, the otherism of just kind of pointing out, immigrants as the other is not right, in this particular time, in this particular place.
And just very quickly, you're entitled to due process in this country, even if you are in this country illegally.
Yes, you are entitled to due process. And one other thing that I really do want to mention to your viewers is that if you are contacted by ICE, they are law enforcement, and you have the right to remain silent. It's a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You have the right against illegal search and seizures. And if you are contacted by ICE, or the best protection is to get out your phone and start recording. And if anyone is contacted by ICE, those are the things that you need to tell them, that you are invoking your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and you do not consent to any illegal search and seizure.
Thank you both for being on with us today.
Thank you.
Good to see you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Jacob has a look at your firstborn forecast for Father's Day. And Jacob's back with a look at our firstborn forecast.
Thanks, Brady. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. High temperatures in general will be around 80 degrees for the next several days. A few storms are possible for Father's Day, but storms will become more likely once we get to next work week. Now, taking a look at the rainfall forecast for tomorrow and Father's Day. Tomorrow, we're barely going to see anything, just a few light showers in the northern portion of our area. But Saturday night into Sunday, we'll start to see some of that rain move into the area. Not going to see anything too particularly heavy, but we are expected to see some showers and thunderstorms, especially in the morning. Now, once we get to the afternoon, it looks like it will be drier, but we still are going to see the chance of some rain. Now, I would say if you have any outdoor plans for Father's Day, I would say no need to cancel them. Just keep an eye on the radar throughout the day, as we could be seeing those pop-up showers and thunderstorms even through the evening. Now, once we get to the overnight hours, rain will become a little bit more consistent again, and we're going to continue to see the chance of rain for Monday and Tuesday, with an alert day in the forecast for Wednesday for the possibility of severe weather. Now, obviously, details details aren't super precise right now, considering it is 6 days out, but it looks very likely that we're not just going to see the severe weather, but at the very least, we'll see very heavy rain across the board next week. Chance of storms Monday and Tuesday. It's possible we may have to put the alert day a few days before as well, including Wednesday, as there could be some minor severe weather for Monday and Tuesday, but we don't have an alert day in the forecast for those days, at least not yet. But Wednesday, it looks a lot more likely as we're going to see widespread showers and thunderstorms throughout much of the day, clearing out by overnight. We could see the strong winds, large hail, could even see a few tornadoes as well. But in terms of, what hazards are more likely, we'll have a few more details as it gets closer. But at the very least, we're going to see plenty of rainfall over the next 7 days, possibly over 2 to 3 inches for some areas. Now, this is the rainiest time of the year, but even this amount of rainfall is a little bit above normal. So looking at the full 7 to 10 day forecast, a lot of chances of rainfall. Again, tomorrow looks good, and for Father's Day, it mostly will be in the morning. A few isolated showers are possible in the afternoon, but it's not going to be too bad. Not as rainy as Tuesday or Wednesday look right now, and it looks like we are going to dry up after Wednesday, at least briefly, where we could see some lingering storms Thursday, but then later in the day Thursday and for Friday, we may start to see some drier conditions return to our area.
It's Friday! Yes, it is. Feel Good Friday, to be exact.
And we're highlighting a few local Pride events this weekend. Tonight at 7, the Orpheum Theater will host a free all-ages drag celebration. Tomorrow, Middleton will hold its Pride Festival from 1 to 5 at Stonehorse Green. Henry Vilas Zoo's Pride Night is Saturday. The 18 and up event includes performances, pop-ups, and trivia. Also this weekend, the Alliant Energy Center's Big Gay Pride Market. The 3-day event begins tonight at 6, just for adults, but the event is for all ages tomorrow and Sunday. And we'll be right back.
Here's what's coming up Monday on Live at 4. We'll meet a local author with a new book that he wrote about traveling to 50 countries over 5 decades. And straight ahead tonight at 5, our Ellie La Liberté tells us where Wisconsin could lose the most money if federal funding is cut. That's straight ahead at 5. Thanks for watching Live at 4, everybody. We hope to see you right back here on Monday. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. You can always catch us 24/7 streaming on Channel 3000 Plus. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.